You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
In uncertain times, we could use someone to lean on. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma will stand by you with plan options to fit your budget. If you've recently lost your job, had a baby, or moved, you can still get the healthcare coverage you and your family need. Financial help may be available for those who qualify. Call 855-452-BLUE or visit hereforyouok.com to see if you're eligible to enroll. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, a division of Healthcare Service Corporation, a mutual legal reserve company.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Welcome into the program, ladies and gentlemen. No, you're not hallucinating. That was not the intro to America Off the Rails. America Off the Rails, effective today, has now moved to Thursdays at the same time. So Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. The new opening act for Chat Lives Matter Night still involves me. Some of you are sad. Get over it. We've now moved the Whatever Show to Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern. So I am joined by my usual co-host for this Generation X-filled rant fest that we call Whatever. And that is Miss Stacy Lennox. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I have Wild Kingdom, as usual, going on in my house just in time for the show.
It's usually how it works. I kind of gave up on that a long time ago. I have a house full of dogs who always like to make noises at the most inappropriate time. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I do my shows from home. Deal with it. Anyway, so yeah. And of course,
I got the noise-canceling professional earbuds now, so hopefully you all can't hear it as much as you used to, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that cancels it out more on your side than it does ours.
Oh, well, that blows. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I meant to tell you that the other day when you mentioned that you got the cool new noise cancellation stuff. I was like, that works well for you, not for them, because they're going to hear it through your mic, not your earbuds. But it's okay, because like I said, we do the shows from home. Everybody knows it. If they don't like it by now, they can get over it. So yeah, I'm going to have to try to log back into Twitter real quick, because it's being completely stupid. So give me just a second. Because that's where I keep all my show notes. And I'm like, what is going on? It's not
no. It's not
letting me do anything.
Well, good news.
Wait.
As of this morning, the frogs are marking Jewish businesses and Jewish homes.
Oh, so much fun.
Yeah. I'm feeling simultaneously like I'm in 1938-ish and 1968.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thought the other day. I'm like, dude, it's like we're living through 1938, 1968, and 1978 all at the same time.
Yeah, we have a 1978 economy, 1968 radicals in our streets, and 1938 anti-Semitism running rampant. But it's literally like we learned nothing from the 20th century. Like, not a fucking thing.
That's because they don't teach them about the 20th century anymore. All they teach them is you're oppressed and it's white people's fault. I just, I knew our education system was bad. I knew it was broken. But my kids are now several years removed from it, and it's not as bad here as it is elsewhere. But I had no idea exactly how broken it was until I saw people start advocating to wipe out all Jews on the planet in college. I'm like, you people needed safe spaces like 8 years ago. What the fuck happened? I don't understand how we went from save us from the Orange Man to kill all the Jews. How did we get there?
Because of the Red-Green Alliance that has always existed and always will exist.
Well, I mean, granted, it's a G-rated calling for destroy all the Jews. But that's what I can't.
It's not even really G-rated. Well, if you look at what happened at, the Cooper Library, what went on over in Russia at the airport, it's not G-rated. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Well, no, what I meant was the language being used is kind of G-rated, because they have this cute little chant, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, and because nobody here understands geography, they didn't really know what that meant, until people like you and me started point out. He was like, you realize for that to happen, Israel can't be there.
Here's the river, here's the sea.
Israel's in the middle. And the funny thing is, like, one of the public figures for Hamas was on TV today, basically stating just that. Israel is occupying Palestinian territory and must be destroyed, and we are not afraid to say that anymore. And then the Biden administration is like, well, we still need to look at the two-state solution. There can't be one.
There can't be one. Okay? Because Donald Trump, he tried. Like the original barters of the Abraham Accords, they talked to the Palestinians, and they realized these people are intractable. They get the Abraham Accords in, and all of a sudden, the UAE and Saudi Arabia are actually auditing the money they're giving to the Palestinians. Instead of sending cash, they're actually sending material and contractors to build the things that they intended to build. You know, we talked to Joseph about this. There was a stepwise change in how the Arab nations were treating, other than Iran and that axis, but the larger Muslim nations closer to Israel, the way that they were treating the Palestinians, there was a stepwise change in the way they were dealing with them. And if Trump had been reelected, Saudi Arabia would already be in the Accords by now. Like, nobody disputes that. So, and I have to say that the UAE put out one of the strongest statements globally about what is going on. They basically said the Abraham Accords remain, and it is imperative that everybody recognize the right of the Jewish state to exist. The UAE said that. The UAE had a stronger position than the UK, who abstained from the resolution at the UN to support Israel.
Well, that's because
the UK abstained.
Well, that's because the UK's already got their sights set on becoming the arbiter of all things artificial intelligence, so they're not even worried about any of that anymore.
I don't even know what that means.
So this big summit that just happened where all the world leaders were meeting about artificial intelligence, and, you know, of course, he sent Heels Up Harris.
So all the artificially intelligent people were meeting to talk about artificial intelligence?
Yep, and according to a story I just read, Britain is trying to set themselves up to be the go-between, basically, between everyone else and artificial intelligence. So they seem to have their eye on other prizes. I don't necessarily know what it means or what they're going to be doing, but that's kind of why they seem to be backing off from pretty much everything else. That, and I think they were kind of afraid to not abstain because their streets look even worse than ours, because this whole multiculturalism idea that we started toying with late 60s, early 70s just ain't working.
As it turns out, Rick, diversity is in fact not our strength.
I've been trying to tell people, but I was called a racist when I said that.
Yes, diversity is in fact not a strength. Diversity for the sake of diversity, and diversity of fundamental values certainly is not. If we don't share a common core of something, then we share nothing, and we can't inhabit a country. I mean, if you look at what's going on in Dearborn, Michigan, my God, it might as well be Gaza.
I mean, there's so much of this country now that looks and is starting to be shaped just like the places that these people came from. And that's the part that upsets me, because we now know with 1,000% certainty these people are not coming here to make their lives better, to make America better, none of the above. They are coming in like parasites, draining everything they can from the economy, sending it back where they came from, and they're going to keep doing that until there's absolutely nothing left. I mean, the scariest...
We call them locusts.
Well, the scariest thing for me, right, is this goes back to something that was discussed in The Matrix, whenever the AI was basically farming humans for energy, and they said, basically, we did this because you guys are like the most advanced virus on the planet. You move from location to location, you drain all the resources, you leave nothing behind, and you were killing the planet, so that's why we did what we did. And the sad thing is, we keep proving them right, to a point. Because
yeah, but that was some global warming propaganda right there.
I understand that, but the thing about
we're not ruining the planet per se. This is ruining societies globally, especially the West. Basically what we're seeing is the fruition of what CARE always said. We're going to use their liberalism against them. They take what is traditionally the Western bent for, freedom and individual liberty and tolerance, and they use it against us with bad intent. And Like a 13-year-old girl who doesn't understand that some men are assholes. We can't discern that some of these people don't want the same things we want. They just don't. They're not coming here for freedom. They're coming here, like you said, to take our stuff and take over. The outright anti-Semitism, you can talk to me about anti-Semitism on the right. Okay, let's talk about Nick Fuentes. When was he at the last influential conservative gathering? He talks to a couple thousand groypers nationwide. All right? I'm not worried about Nick Fuentes. We can deal with Nick Fuentes. They're anti-Semites literally crowd our top universities and slither through the halls of Congress, and they do nothing. Until the Democrats call out Rashida Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Cori Bush, Jamila,
I can't think
her last name.
I can't think of her last name either, to be honest.
She's the head of the Progressive Caucus. Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, by name, and condemn what they are saying. They are winking and nodding at anti-Semites far more than Donald Trump ever did in Charlottesville. They had to misquote and selectively quote Donald Trump to make it look like he did at that stupid gathering of about 50 guys in khakis with paunches, okay? That supposedly was so terrible and so awful that it motivated Joe Biden to run for president to fight anti-Semitism and rip it out root and branch. It's sitting in his caucus. And he does nothing. Corinne Jean-Pierre today just made me want to bang my head against a wall, but I can't hurt myself because she's a stupid anti-Semite.
So this caucus is a lot bigger than I thought it was.
What?
So the chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus is currently Pramila Jayapal. Deputy chair is Ilhan Omar. The whip is Greg Cesar. Chair emeriti are Raul, whatever the fuck his last name is, starts with a G. Barbara Lee, Mark Pocan. Vice chairs Becca Balint, Jamal Bowman. That explains a lot. Sheila Jackson.
Well, that's the entire Progressive Caucus. Ro Khanna is in it. I don't necessarily believe that Ro Khanna is an anti-Semite. Okay? But some of them are outwardly, vociferously, and specifically anti-Semitic. And Democrats need to say, yeah, you don't get to caucus with us anymore. Take the D out of your name. That's not who we are. Joe Biden is literally sitting there winking and nodding at these assholes.
I would have been a little less nice about it. Keep the D out of your mouth.
Yeah, right. Well, and I would love for all of them to just pack a bag and go fight for freedom in Gaza. Do that. Bye-bye.
I really wish they would.
Pack up some of these brats on college campuses, too. Especially the ones on student visas. Bye-bye. Thank you for showing us you were going to be a problem. We don't want you here anymore.
That's the thing, right? Because that's all I keep hearing from everybody. Well, if you do that, you're infringing on their civil rights. No, I'm not.
I'm not.
As soon as they align themselves with...
You have no right to be here. If you had a right to be here, you don't have to fill out an application.
Well, the other thing about it is, even if we extend the same civil rights to the people that are here on visas, once you align yourself with a terrorist organization, your rights are suspended. I don't care.
If you are suspected of aligning yourself with a terrorist organization, our own intelligence agencies can go get a FISA warrant on you.
Yeah, but they won't, because it'll hurt too many feelings.
All I'm saying is, if we literally called parents who were objecting to local school boards because they didn't want their kids exposed to, extremely graphic pornography, okay? They were like on the list to become domestic terrorists. Really, we can't call the kids at Cooper Union who were banging on the door while 10 Jews were trapped in the room, that security couldn't even get them out safely. We can't call those kids terrorists. Really?
Well, first of all, we need to stop calling them kids, but second of all, yes, we should be calling them terrorists.
You're right. We need to stop calling 23-year-old college kids kids.
But that's part of what I'm talking about, though. It's so ingrained in us that even though I've been trying to stop doing that, I still catch myself doing it because we don't think of them as adults anymore. And I think that's honestly one of the biggest problems we have in our society. And I've said this before: there are so many different benchmarks that supposedly get you across the threshold of being an adult that nobody knows when adulthood actually starts anymore. And we don't, and even if we know when it starts, we don't hold them accountable like adults. It's happening everywhere. It's happening in our legal system. It's happening in our college campuses. So all we're doing is causing even more confusion and causing even more frustration. And then these people think they can just do whatever they want because I'm still a kid. I can say whatever I want. Nobody can do anything to me. Wrong answer. Thanks for playing, though.
Oh, yeah, that girl at Harvard.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. The non-binary trans lawyer who, honey, can we talk about Queers for Palestine for just a minute? Have you ever heard the term useful idiot? Because that's what you are. That's what you are.
Oh, I've said this over and over and over again. In order for these people to be advocating for this group, they either have a complete disconnect for what this group stands for, or they hate themselves even more than that group hates them. And it could possibly be both, because it just makes zero sense.
I don't even understand why you would think that was a thing. You know?
I mean, yeah, I just, it's like, I talked about this a little bit, was either this morning or, was it this morning? Yeah, it had to be this morning, because I didn't do a show last night, but I talked about it a little bit this morning, and there is an imam putting out a video that is now being shared all over the place, and of course, anywhere it's shared, at the bottom it talks about, for entertainment purposes only, but it's an imam basically explaining why there are so many Muslims that vote for liberals, and it's because liberals are easily swayed. Liberals are too busy off chasing climate change and 40 million genders and everything else, so we don't have to worry about them coming at us because they're too busy being distracted with all the shiny things. So yes, please, go fight your climate change. Go tell everyone there's 40 million genders while we quietly kill you.
Well, it goes back to what Douglas Murray said. I've quoted him 100 times. The barbarians will be at the door and we'll be arguing about what pronouns to use to refer to them.
The problem is they're already past the door.
All I'm saying is, like, what? Like, like, what in the actual hell? I can't even.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I never thought I would look at people, and to some that I even like and respect, and be like, what in the world? Like, I listened to Jason Whitlock go after Ben Shapiro for making his case for Israeli support. And Jason Whitlock, Ben Shapiro's not going to tell me how to feel about this. Really? And you call yourself a Christian, sir? You can hear about these atrocities and you can't just say that was wrong, that maybe I don't agree with financial support, or maybe I don't think the country's in a position to do X, Y, and Z, but that was an atrocity. Could you just say that? Because you pound your chest about being a good Christian and you just attacked a man who literally has family and a bunch of friends in the area that this just happened. So could you shut up, sir? Why would you make it like he literally did it right in the wakes of the attack? Why would you make it your priority to comment on this on your show? and specifically call out the Jew. Like, what is your problem? I literally almost cut my subscription to The Blaze over it. I was that pissed. And then they had Lauren Chen out there pumping Nick Fuentes. Like, really? She's still on your station back? What? That's not a legitimate opinion. Nick Fuentes is not a legitimate person. You don't get to have a commentator that's floating Nick Fuentes and have them still on your channel. Like, I just don't get that. That's beyond free speech. Sorry. That's holding someone accountable for being a fucking dumbass and putting an absolute racist, anti-Semitic piece of crap on their timeline as someone with a reasonable opinion. Not even kidding.
Oh, no, I'm not disagreeing. I just wasn't sure if you were done yet.
No, I mean, I can watch all those shows on YouTube. I don't need to pay $99 a year to help pay people with those kinds of opinions. I really don't.
Oh.
And I mean, they're just people like hiding in plain sight.
I don't even necessarily think they're hiding.
And no, not allowing Israel to purchase weapons that largely they pay for is not America first. That's actually not it at all. I mean, we don't give Israel nearly as much as we give countries that hate us.
No, I mean, I was honestly kind of...
Israel just really wants to buy some shit from us. Okay.
I was honestly kind of surprised when I heard how little bit of money we actually send their way, considering we've sent like 10 times that amount to Ukraine already. I was like, what? So these people actually like us, and we are very stingy with them. These people are on the fence about us, and we're trying to buy their love. Good job.
I feel like I need to go back to do a tutorial on something that was written years ago in the Atlantic called What ISIS Really Wants, because all of these radical Islamists want the same thing. They're waiting for the 12th Imam, and they're actually openly talking about it, even here in this country, about him appearing. It's an apocalyptic cult is what these radical Muslims are, and we have an administration that's catering to them. Their goal is the apocalypse.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly.
And if their foreign policy people don't understand that, you need new foreign policy people. I love Jake Sullivan, though. Or was it Jake Sullivan? I think so. Is that his name?
Name sounds familiar, but I don't know if that's who you're actually talking about.
Yeah, he was sitting there and he's like, I just know that my job in the Middle East is less busy than any of my predecessors since like the 1980s.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That guy.
Yeah, that was left over from the other guy. Oh, look, your guys' policies are taken. Like, yeah, how's your week going now, Jake?
Well, I mean, first things first, as somebody that's done the kind of work I've done, that is something that you never say out loud. That's like when you're wearing a badge and a gun and you start talking about it being a slow night. People are going to shoot you. The people you work with are going to be tasing you because you just jinxed them.
Dude, I've never said that in any place I've worked. Oh, it's a really quiet day. That's like the best way for you to figure out your day is no longer going to be quiet.
Dude, I used to yell at my boss for that. Like, even when I worked for the state, she'd always be like, you guys have plenty of time to get this stuff done because it's really slow. And I'm like, did you really just say that? And then 5 minutes later...
Never say the S word at work. My God, people.
Then 5 minutes later, we weren't slow anymore. So then I'm emailing her going, see, I told you. You don't say that kind of shit out loud. You don't send it in an email. You don't send it in a text. You just don't say it.
For any reason...
You could have just said, hey, this is the perfect time to get caught up on your paperwork. You didn't have to put the S word in there. You didn't have to, and you did. But yeah, I don't know. So am I the only one that doesn't like the Blaze's new website now?
I actually haven't gone to it.
While we're on the subject of the Blaze, I don't like it. It's annoying.
Why?
Well,
I thought they went ad-free. That should be way less annoying.
Well, I mean, so that part is. That I have to admit that part.
I mean, they used to have all kinds of pop-ups and autoplays. That's why I didn't ever go there.
I mean, they don't anymore, but it's weird. They've made everything like black and white, like it's an old school newspaper, and it's kind of annoying.
That was the point.
When you hover
they
over,
want it to be like a slick magazine kind of feel. If you listen to Matthew Peterson, the CEO.
Well, when you hover over it, the color comes back. But I don't know. It's just the layout's different now, and I don't know. I do
give yourself a little time. I'm actually looking forward to exposing my nieces and nephews to Bentkey.
Oh,
what?
No, I was just laughing about you're going to be exposing your nieces and nephews to it.
Well, no, Bentkey. It's the new Daily Wire kids stuff.
Oh, I know.
And they're doing a new live action Snow White, the actual story, unlike Disney. I think my nieces will love that. And they've got like a couple of really cute looking shows that I think my youngest nephew would really like. So I'm excited to share it with them. It's apolitical content. It's like what we used to watch when we were kids. So, I've seen a couple snippets of it, and it looks like they've got the female Mr. Rogers.
Nice.
Even better.
I may have to check that out, because some of my grandkids are getting a little bit older now. All right, well, we are officially at bottom of the hour, so we need to take a quick break. We'll be back for the second half of the Whatever Show right here live on KLRNradio.com. Don't forget, after us, Full Boat tonight, Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show's coming up next. Ladies of the Red Wine after that. Then Rick and Ordy, but it's Rick and Alien because Ordy has an early training. So it'll be Jeff filling in for Ordy tonight. But we do have Full Boat. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Still lots more show left. Also, I found the clip from the guy from Hamas saying Israel needs to be wiped out. So we'll probably play that too. Be right back. Before we get on the bus, it goes no fuss, and live on yourself, it's all goes much free to be whatever you say, if it comes my way, it's alright. You're free to be wherever you please, you can choose the place if you want. My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign. KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Welcome back for the second half of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you're listening to the Whatever Show right here live on KLRN Radio, and we do this now every Wednesday night starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be the leadoff for Chat Lives Matter Night from now until whenever. And I feel like I need to say this because I've been getting some flack through email and online and a few places. I am a firm believer in First Amendment and free speech, and I really do think that people should be allowed to say whatever crazy, stupid crap they want to say. Until they start advocating for people to be wiped off the map, then that's where I draw the line. If that's not where you draw the line, that's on you. I'm just telling you where I stand. Speaking of people needing to be wiped off the map, there's a guy from the whole Hamas thing that basically didn't really mince words about it. Now you're going to have to listen to the translated version. But this is what he had to say, and this was not that long ago.
إسرائيل دولة لا مقام لها على أرضنا. إحنا الدولة.
Never mind. I thought it would have it only has the subtitles. I thought it actually had the translation. But anyway, so what he basically goes through and says, and I'm not going to make you listen to it because I don't feel like reading the subtitles to you, was basically that, that he believes that Israel is an occupying force. They have been the entire time. It doesn't matter that they're no longer in Palestine. They're no longer in Palestine proper because they are occupying Palestinian lands, and the only way to bring peace back to the Arab world is to remove Israel from the equation, and they believe they have the might, the right, and the power to do that. I don't know what he's been watching because Israel seems to be mopping the floor with them, but go ahead, keep trying. Whatever, bro. So anyway.
Yeah, no, I like the quote where where one of the Hamas leaders told somebody, they were asking him why they had collected all of this money over the last several years, and they had built, 50 kilometers worth of tunnels rather than building bomb shelters and that sort of thing. And the guy said, taking care of the people is not our job. That's the job of the United Nations and Israel. So they're the elected government of Gaza, but it is not their job to take care of the people who live there, the Palestinians who elected them. It is the job of the United Nations and Israel.
I'm going to say something that I've been saying now for the last 3, almost 4 weeks. If we don't get out of the UN soon, I'm going to be mad. I'm just done.
I think there is only one presidential candidate that might do it.
Probably DeSantis.
Yeah, sorry about my dog. I have no idea what he's barking at.
He's trying to tell you about something.
Yeah, my foot feels too. I'm moving way too slow to get to the door to shut it. So I have no idea.
It's all good. They've heard worse listening to my shows. So anyway,
I'm just saying, guys, plantar fasciitis. Don't ever get it. It's awful. Awful.
It's so awful. But yeah, so I guess we should go back to talking about the quiet part out loud again, because I know we've kind of touched on this, but I found this more than a little bit interesting, because this is actually coming from the White House. President Biden and Vice President Harris are announcing that their administration will develop the first ever U.S. national strategy to counter Islamophobia in the United States. We look forward to continuing our work with community leaders, advocates, members of Congress, and more to develop the strategy, which will be a joint effort led by the Domestic Policy Council and the National Security Council, and counter the scourge of Islamophobia and hate in all its forms. So, nothing about the people trying to kill the Jews? Nothing? Nothing?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
I mean, I know you brought this up earlier, but I kind of felt like we needed to come back to it and dive into it a little bit more, because you're right. They are just basically winking at the Jew haters in their own party while labeling anyone who voted for Trump in either election as a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else find this just a little weird?
No, not really.
Maybe
I've been saying this since the whole war in Ukraine started. That's when the cracks really became real. And I honestly think the ideological divisions in the United States are part of what is fueling this chaos globally, right? The Ukraine war, you and I feel no real, we're like, whatever, right? Because it's the globalists versus the nationalists, basically. The communists.
Yeah.
So there is no American side in that war. Ukraine is not a democracy. Putin has been in Crimea since 2014. He's not going to leave it. I mean, that's just not going to happen. This whole war has if you listen to Konstantin Kisin from Trigonometry, this whole, war with Ukraine has actually increased Putin's popularity with the younger generation there. And he makes a good point. The only experience Russia ever had with democracy was in the early 90s, and people lost everything. Like, everybody knew somebody whose daughter ended up a prostitute or got sold into sex slavery, and who lost their home and lost all of their possessions because it just became rampant corruption and crime that was unbridled. So Putin didn't come in and stop the crime, but he nationalized it. So it's not on the streets anymore. And if you go to university and you do well, if you do well in school and you go to university, you'll have a job and you can provide, not a great, but a decent life, right? They look at Putin as the man who stopped the chaos. If you ask them if they want democracy, they're horrified because their brief foray into capital markets went terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. So they're looking at all of this now, and the popularity of Vladimir Putin has actually increased in Russia since the war in Ukraine. They're not making him weaker within the border of his own nation. They're making him stronger. And that's a war, it's basically the Habsburgs, whatever. It's a centuries-old conflict that's never going to get solved. And it's all about who controls a little piece of land, whether it's going to like the West better or the East better. And really what Ukraine just should have said a long time ago is, when they were no longer part of the Soviet Union, is we're Switzerland. We're not taking sides. That would have saved them a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ukraine is no less corrupt than Russia. It's probably not as the corruption is probably not as well controlled as it is in Russia. And I resent my tax dollars going there to pay bureaucrat salaries. Like, what? What? We have people here who can't afford food thanks to the inflation this is creating. Like, I just don't like it. Okay? Now, you look at the war in Israel and people who have our view of the world. Israel is a democracy that is fighting in defense of Western values. So we support them and would like to be as supportive as we can possibly be and do things like let them purchase stuff, right? The left is exactly the opposite, because they're on the side of the globalists, right? And they hate Western values. So there is going to be no consistency in American foreign policy for the foreseeable future, because if the party in the White House changes, the philosophy is going to change fundamentally. And it makes the world a very unstable place.
Well, I mean,
because we don't even agree on fundamental Western values anymore.
This is true. I don't know. It's all craziness to me. And as our good friend Aggie pointed out, the administration would need all of the access to all of our natural gas resources to run the amount of gaslighting they'll need to keep pushing this narrative. It's just craziness.
There is no both sidesism here. See, part of understanding Western culture is to understand that the religious underpinnings of Western culture allow you to discern between good and evil, right? They allow you to get out of the quagmire that is moral equivalence, right? So that you don't have to pretend that the rampant barbaric medieval murder of 1,400 Jews is somehow similar to the state of Israel defending itself against future attacks by attacking those who planned and executed those attacks while they hide behind their own citizens. See, every death in Gaza is not the fault of Israel. They prevented their people from going south. They've not sheltered them, and they hide among them. Every death in Gaza is the fault of Hamas.
Well, here's the thing, right? Yes, it's the fault of Hamas, but I've also seen several different videos being put out, and one of them absolutely made the hair on the back of my neck stand up, because it was a guy standing in front of a bunch of Palestinian children talking about how their children still play on rooftops while Israeli children hide in bunkers like the rats that they are. Yeah. And all the kids started screaming Allahu Akbar. And this is what I can't make anyone understand. They don't have our same set of values at all. It's not just Western versus non-Western. We value life. We cherish life. We try to take care of life as much as possible. They value death. They're fine with putting kids in harm's way because they believe that's going to guarantee those kids get a seat in paradise. They're fine with putting themselves in harm's way because they believe that's going to get them a seat in paradise. That's the difference. That's the part that I can't make anybody understand, because we keep trying to, I mean, it's not the right word for it, but I can't think of the best one, but it's like we're trying to anthropomorphize them, because we're trying to ascribe our values to them, and they don't have them. They don't like us. They want us dead, and that's why I'm tired of hearing about Islam as a religion of peace, because it's just like with the difference between the right and the left when it comes to anti-Semitism. We shun those on our side that say stupid shit over and over and over again. They celebrate them or they ignore them. Same thing with this. When we have crazy sects of Christianity, case in point, Westboro Baptist Church. Why they still get to call themselves Baptist, I will never understand. But no one that I know claims them. No one that I know associates with them. Because that's not our brand of Christianity. I don't hear very many Muslims saying these people don't represent us. If anything, I hear them saying Allahu Akbar. Which is not what they should be saying if they are in fact a religion of peace. And not a religion of hack you to pieces.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
What was the other clip we said? Durka, Durka, Durka.
Yeah, I'm actually pulling that one back out again. Because everything...
Yeah, I think we need the Durka, Durka, Durka clip.
Everything old is new again. I was saying, I noticed Lou was popping back up on my timeline.
Everything pre-Trump is back again.
I was saying that I noticed Lou was popping up on my timeline again, and I was like, it's weird that you started showing up now, because it's like everything's been reset to right when we all started doing this again way back in the day. To the point where I'm about to start dusting off some of the sound clips we haven't had to use in forever, like Durka Durka.
Durka Durka Durka.
Because why not? Anyway.
Because whatever. Everything old is new again, and seriously, screw every suburban woman who thought Donald Trump was mean. Your children are less safe. Your lifestyle is less secure, and it's all your fault.
I mean, I'm twice divorced now, so if you really want someone to try, I can take one for the team. You walked into that one. I'm not even sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I'm so glad we don't have mean tweets.
All right. Oh, yeah, I've been saying that for a while. And the thing that irritates me is I'm not even a huge Trump fan. I hate the fact that they keep making me defend him. Because he has lots of things that happen towards the end of his administration that, in my opinion, are indefensible because he hasn't explained them. But they keep making me defend him. All right. Well, believe it or not, we are just about out of time. Why don't you remind folks where they can find you when you're not on here with me?
You can find me on Twitter, roasting anti-Semites every chance I get. And you will be seeing me again on PJ Media here shortly. Because I finally have a schedule.
What is this thing you call a schedule? Just kidding.
I have a schedule.
Speaking of schedule, I will not be surprised if Jeff is screaming at me later tonight for all the schedule changes I've made today.
I'm sorry, Jeff. It was me, not him.
Oh, no.
It was me, not him.
I'll take full credit, because apparently he forgot about the morning show. That's still not on the calendar either. But anyway, so...
and I'm thinking about being your top-of-the-hour news girl.
Yeah, I actually think I'm going to figure out how we can get that done, because I do need top-of-the-hour news, and I don't like the only source I've been able to find. So we're going to start putting out our own. All right.
I will collect the top news on Twitter and come on at the top of the hour. And I'll even have a different voice for doing it. Be terribly professional.
Now I'm kind of curious.
Yeah? That'll be fun. I can only do it on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, though.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out. I mean, hell, even if we just do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for now, I still have another set I could use for Monday and Tuesday, even if I can't find anybody else to do it. But yeah, I could even do something professional sounding like, and now we're going to Stacey Lennox in the KLR Radio Newsroom.
Ding, 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 ching!
Alright, so anyway...
Be rocking it old school, my friends.
When I'm not doing this, you can find me here in a second producing for the Conservative Curmudgeon, then producing for the Ladies of the Red Wine, and then you can find me ending the night with the Rick and Orty show, which for tonight will be Rick and Alien. Then tomorrow morning I'll be back again doing the Rick Robinson show, and then Thursdays now at 7 Eastern is the America Off the Rails show. This won't be a 90-minute version because it's Culture Shift night. So there'll be 90 minutes of me in the evening, and then give a little bit of a break for the Culture Shift, then back around doing Jen and Rick. I do believe we have a guest scheduled for tomorrow night at 10 Eastern, still trying to confirm that for sure. And then I'll be back around 7:30, 8:30 Eastern, helping Aggie with He Said, She Said, and then we have makeups for Juxtaposition, because we did not do well with Juxtober this October because work was eating Orty's lunch. So we were. I think I'm gonna try to convince him to do 2 hours on Saturday night just so we can get it done. Because we have 2 episodes we have to make up, and then I'll be back around Monday morning doing the Rick Robinson Show, which is now Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. And when I'm not doing that, you can find me as a regular contributor on Twitchy, also the executive producer of the Loftus Party podcast, and a contributor to the LoftusParty.com. Because who says I don't have enough to do? Anyway, we got to get out of here. G's coming up next. Stay tuned, everybody. For those of you in the chat, we're still working out the mechanics, so there will be an F5, so just hang out for a second.
To be whatever I